I got a problem. I got a strange addiction. Somebody help me. I need an intervention. It ain't alcohol or weed. There's just one thing that I need. I got an addiction to fruit trees. Got an addiction to fruit trees. I take a persimmon to breathe. Hey, the next one I'm getting jujube. Got an addiction to fruit trees. Peace, family. LVA, you sweaty? Yeah, I'm always sweating because I'm always out here doing something. But I mentioned in another video that I was going to be resting my annual beds. And I said that I would kind of talk a little bit about that or show you what I'm doing. Maybe resting is not the appropriate word for what I'm trying to do. I would say I'm attempting to give it time to rejuvenate. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. And I still have, like in some of my pots, I still got some rutabagas growing. Some of my strawberry plants are still giving me strawberries. But as far as like actively, planting stuff, I'm trying to accomplish some soil work, if you will, in my annual bed. So I'll show you what I'm referring to. Hey, on a side note, if anybody has any ideas as far as like noise cancellation or whatever, just let me know, because this traffic noise is insane. And I know that sometimes it probably gets on y'all's nerves, it gets on mine, and I apologize. But if y'all have any suggestions, let me know. But let's take a look at these beds. All right, here we go.
Oh my God, VA, what is this? What is this mess? This is disgusting. You're not supposed to do that. That's crazy. This is not helpful. This is just destructive. Oh my Lord.
Well, your mess is my masterpiece. What I'm trying to do, well, let me tell you what I did. I'm pretty much just trying to feed the soil microbiology here. So, I took whatever weeds that were growing in these beds, I cut those, laid them down. I didn't discard of them. I laid them all down until they dried out. So underneath this thick carpeted looking layer, there's dried weeds that were actually in the beds. Now, if you notice, I still have some things that are growing here. Like I've got some zinnias that are still growing. I'm just gonna let those stay. I'll let them die off on their own. And if they leave openings there where weeds can get through, then I'll address that later. And I have a little hosta here that's still holding on, so I'll let that go as well. But yeah, laid the weeds down, so those were dry. I also put down some compost, some finished compost. Well, I'll say finished and almost finished compost. On top of that, I put some coffee grounds. And if you look in that bed, that dark stuff there is coffee grounds. So I put that down. Hold on just a minute, fam. Yeah, I apologize. Again, traffic, there was a motorcycle behind me, so I didn't want to. But anyway, yeah, that's coffee grounds there that I got from my local Starbucks. So that was cool. Now, then on top of that, I also put some old moringa powder that I had left over. I had quite a bit left over. I've got some fresh moringa powder or fresher moringa powder at home in the house that I've been using. And I watered this in. I watered it in. And actually, when I first started, I watered the dry weeds. And then every time I layered, I put more water. And then on top, I put more weeds. Now, the green stuff here is other weeds and mulberry cuttings, and there's some comfrey down there as well. Watered that down. And then once the fall really starts hitting, when it picks up, I'll put my crushed dry leaves on top as well. And, I'm not, I don't know if all of this is going to break down. I don't think it will. I think there'll probably still be a good amount of this organic material here that'll still be, it'll look different, but it'll still be there. But underneath, I'll have at least a good thick layer that I can plant into. So I'll just kind of, when it comes time to plant, I'll just kind of move stuff to the side, whatever is left there, and then plant underneath. And, we'll see how that works. If my soil microbiology is good, then a good amount of this, if not all of it, should be broken down. If it's not, then, we'll have another issue that I'll have to address next year. But this is what I'm doing. My compost, there was some eggshells in there. There was also some biochar that I put in here. It was full of worms and things like that. So my compost looked great. That should feed the microbiology. I also have some compost tea brewing right now, that I'll spray pretty much. I'll do that in these beds after they're done just to get some, some more bacteria and things like that in it. And then in the other areas where I have other plants and trees and things like that, I'll use my watering can with the compost tea on those. And that's pretty much it. So we'll see how this works. And of course, I'll keep you all posted. If y'all have any questions or suggestions or thoughts, even if it's,
VA, you're just crazy. You're just always doing something stupid and crazy. Oh my God, I can't believe you did this. This just looks insane.
leave that too. I'd be very, very amused to read that. All right, voiceover time. I wanted to show y'all, and I also failed to mention that on top of all of those layers of organic material and underneath the top layer of weeds, I put a thick layer of newspaper. You can do this with cardboard as well, but I put a thick layer of newspaper, soak that down. I generally advise that if you use newspaper that you soak that down as well so that it doesn't become hydrophobic. But soaking it down underneath and on top will help to retain moisture. It'll also help with the breaking down process, and at least with the stuff up underneath. So there's newspaper under all of the things that I mentioned, the coffee grounds, the moringa, the compost, the initial layer of dry weeds. So I wanted to show that, and also my audio went out. So that's pretty much what it looks like. It's almost done, but I just wanted to show y'all what things are looking like at this stage. There is newspaper there, to try to keep weeds down. It also helps to break those weeds down as well, so that that's more food for the soil microbiology. But use newspaper, thick layer it on thick, or cardboard. Even if you use cardboard, layer that cardboard on thick as well. But like I said, if you do, I generally advise soaking it down. I've done it without soaking it, as far as with cardboard, and for me, it just seems to work better. When I soak it, I don't come back and find like dry cardboard pieces still laying there. That kind of would prevent, moisture from getting up underneath. So this is what it looks like, almost finished. Hey, one last thing for real this time, y'all. I forgot to mention before, with this bed, this is the one I'm working on now, but this bed here, this one I'm going to, and I mentioned this before, I'm actually going to put a fig tree here, like right smack in the middle of it. With the way that the sun moves, I'm not really worried about it shading anything out. I'm going to use this to also plant annuals around it, plant other things like annuals, tomatoes, and things like that around it. But in the middle of this, I'm going to put a fig tree. And eventually, well, I won't get into that right now, but the reason I brought that up is because with this particular bed, I'm also going to mulch it with wood chips. I'm not going to do it with this bed because, this one, you don't want to do wood chips where you're growing annuals necessarily. Some people do it and they're successful with it, but I'll just say research it before you do it. Research it before you do it. But I'm not doing wood chips in this one. I'm going to do wood chips in this one, to get it ready for the fig tree. And then what I'll do is when I'm ready to plant annuals, I'll just move the wood chips and, whatever else is here, move it to the side and then plant in it. And, that's pretty much it. All right, so yeah, that's it for real. Peace.